I'm glad you're here.
So here's what I loved about it. I loved because you did show you, and it seemed you were having so much fun. You were being present, because that's what I tell people, just pause and be present. Y'all are so worried about thinking about the past, then forward thinking about the future, that you're missing the beautiful moments that are here in the present. You
Right.
could, okay, yeah, we're going to go do gold. Okay, great. Nope, we're going to go to the saloon. Okay, great. Nothing is planned, but I'm tapping into my love for myself and being present and being curious and finding something new that I didn't even know was here. And it looks like you're having fun and you're resting in your own way, which is a new freedom and a new liberation that I'm happy you have.
Thank you. And it's like full circle, because guess what? When I'm able to relax, whenever ever it's like it's like someone said, I forgot what it's like this, if you have a question or a problem in your mind, just rest, just take a nap, wake up. And sometimes it's like just doing that, like, oh wow, this place reminds me, oh, here's a good idea. Maybe I should talk about how to mine for new opportunities. You know, it's like sometimes you get the metaphors and the messages just being out in the environment that I would have never got being at my desk. And I think that's the key. Be in places that inspire you, do things that inspire you. Something I learned in therapy, it was like, I'm deserving of great things happening to me. I'm deserving of rest. I don't have to burn myself out to make money. I don't have to. A definition of a good friend is not me giving so much there's nothing left for me. You know what I'm saying? Or mentoring someone. And it's like, sometimes in mentorship relationships, it's like, I got to give you the questions so you can find answers yourself. Yeah. I can't do everything for you. And I think that's the key thing we have to learn, is how do we go about life by understanding our purpose, knowing our worth is more than just what our job title is and what the last vanity metric, I went viral on LinkedIn again. Cool. All right, but was it for something you want to go file for? Is it for a cause you believe in? Is something beyond just something temporary? Is it something timeless? And also, who do I want to be in my network? I got featured. She's a truth teller. So if I'm on my P's and Q's when it comes to wellness, she'll be like, Deidre, girl, like, what are you doing? I need people to tell me the truth, as I should be doing for you, in a loving way. It's like, hey, we need to be able to have those kind of relationships. And if I don't have people that inspire me and I think truly are down, okay, it's time to shed that, And then lastly, we need to speak things into existence. One thing that Future and I bonded over was Napoleon Hill, and I think it's like, was it kind of Get Rich and Die Trying? That's 50 Cent, but Think and Grow Rich. And I really think the power of manifesting. You're on this platform talking about wellness. Do you think it's a high likelihood that Future's going to get more opportunities speaking about wellness and equity, inclusion, and education? Yes. She's speaking about things that she cares about and giving people free game to help them better their lives, right? You could be charging for this, and there's nothing wrong for charging, but you're giving it out there. So how are you not going to attract more blessings when it comes to the wellness space? Because you're speaking about things that have impact to help other people.
Yeah. We just want to help other people, right? Like, that's all we want to do. Jesus, help me.
That's it.
Yes, hallelujah. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Can I get one of those pum pum pum? Like, I want to get one of those sound effects.
Oh my God. Right? But this is another piece. I think I want to go back to two things. Okay. One, best. I just want to put this out there, especially for us, because we are moms. We are Black women. And somewhere along, I don't know where on the life cycle line, some of us feel, or it's been programmed, that we're not allowed to rest. Keep going, keep grinding, just put your head down and what? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm shedding my spirit. I'm literally giving up my soul and spirit for what? And literally I have nothing else, to the point where there is now not only a dis-ease in my body, it has turned into disease because I didn't have time to rest. So I think my call to action, especially if Black women, people that are of the global majority are out there watching this, you too are deserving and worthy of rest, even if you do nothing. Even if you didn't get that next financial step, even if you didn't achieve that job that you were going after, even if mom day for the mom was craptacular, you too deserve to rest and are worthy. We don't need all these pit stops and goals to seriously I got pulled up to my pit stop. I get to get rest now because I got here or did this. You don't need to do that.
Is a fantastic
So
word.
what are your thoughts on that? What do you think about, have you been programmed to say I can't rest until you got to the point of sitting with yourself, or the ambulance is coming to your house?
Life alert, please help me out, but I think part of it, so here's what I will say. There's reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's mindset. Right. Reality is, if you're coming from a position where, let's just say, society has not been structured to reward you as much as other people, whether that is from an ability standpoint, gender, race, nationality, like, you know what I'm saying? Veteran style. It's a lot of different things, right? But if you're already starting behind, there is this whole reality that you have to work harder for equal, right? The equity part doesn't always happen. At the same time, sometimes the mindset and cultural expectation that I have to do all this stuff, and it's like, but do you? Because I will tell you, okay, talk about wellness. I feel awesome right now. My someone asked, like, what's like one of the last purchases you had that like really made your life? I got this Bissell and cultural expectation. Oh, okay. I got this Bissell vacuum mop robot. Girl, it done changed my life. Literally, it's like, and I'm late to the robot game, but it's like, literally, it's like, instead of me obsessing over the crumbs or whatever on the floor, it's like, let me take care of that. And I say that because it was the whole money thing. I can't afford this. Yep. Yeah, but can you afford every day you getting grouchy about, oh my God, stuff on the floor, and having that stress and having to compound. And then your son's looking at you like, Mama, what's wrong? It's like, I stepped on the crumb. And it's like, is that really a crisis? No, but if I would have paid for this robot to just set and forget it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let help in. Right. I don't need to be Superwoman. I just need to be alive. Like, that's the thing. If I'm letting all these different things sweat me, that's what it is. So I think that's the key. I think it's reality. Let's acknowledge that, right? Hey, I have to work a little harder over here, right? But I don't have to suffer because of that. If I have the means to take a nap, if I have the means to, I think we have a lot more privilege than we think we are. That's like, I think about the people who were like, during the pandemic, like what's it called? The people who are like really in person, like they could not work remotely. Yep. But if you have these different advantages, play those cards you have, and don't feel guilty or bad because you're like, man, I shouldn't be doing this. Well, why would it be present if it wasn't available for you to take advantage of? So just do it. Get the help. Yes.
I think that's one of the quotes that you said, I want to misquote you, was something to the point of, I don't need to be Superwoman. I just need to be alive.
Yeah.
Right? I need to make something and send it your way because that's spot on. Right? Here's the thing. I am not gonna give up my cape on this show, and neither are you. Okay. My cape is always underneath my clothing, whether you can see it or not. That's the reality. Thank you. Okay, so we always have our capes on. However, we don't have to sacrifice. The Superwoman shouldn't be synonymous with suffering either.
That's true. But every superhero has an origin story. It's always a parent dying, and they're like Batman. It's like, and I don't want to be that one, But I think that's the point. It's like, I think we have to. It's this whole like soft life trend going on. I see like on like Instagram, it's like soft life, and it's like, it's funny because I'm like, soft life should be regular life. I took a nap. I boiled some tea, and like I took the time to sip it and then burn my tongue. It's like, shouldn't we all be doing this anyways? Like, is it soft? I took the time to actually rub in all my lotion. I didn't just let it stay there, rubbed out. Like, we should all be taking the time to consciously like be alive. But I think we get taught not to, and so I'm like, I don't know if I want a soft life. I just want a life that seems like balanced, and at the same time, I don't think there is such thing as have it all. I think we do trade-offs, but I will trade fame and fortune and whatever to be like, I had a purposeful life. My loved ones felt my love. My community felt that I actually left it better than when I approached it, and I'm known for more than being selfish. Like that, I think that's a good thing to do. And I think for all of us, we have to reflect, because I had to really understand seasons. Like I've had seasons in my life, and as it changes, so need the goals need to change too. And it's like right now, I'm in a season of learning. I'm in a new industry. I'm doing new projects. I'm doing things I want to learn. And in this season, I probably will be hustling a little bit more. And that's okay, because the return on investment will be like, I will be more confident what I'm doing. I'll have some good experiences. I can be more of service for people later on, right? And that's okay. The last 2 years, it's been a little interesting, but I had some time to rest and reflect and do the inner work, right? So now the outer work will be solid, because I know who I am. I know my capabilities. I know what I could do for people because I've done it before, But I don't take the time to also understand that some seasons have to be the sowing, right? Whatever, you gotta plant the seeds, but you also can enjoy the fruits of your labor too eventually. And I think that's where a lot of us get tripped up, because I was not appreciating my blessings and my achievements in real time. People had to tell me, like you told me earlier, like, Deidre, you spoke on the news, spoke on TV. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. That was pretty good, right? And it's like, but I'm so focused on, well, what have I done lately? It's like, does it matter? Like I've done some good things, right? And even without it being that extreme, it's like, hey, like I got through the day, helped my son with homework, and I feel pretty good about that, because there's new math I learned and I taught him, But it's like, that was something that I felt proud about. And it's like, we can celebrate all achievements, big and small, but we have to celebrate them.
Right. Even even the simple point of waking up, I think that's achievement. And it's especially if this was pre-pandemic, I think us waking up every day would be, to me, I would look at it totally different as I do now, because I think some people forget or have been numb to it, or I'm not really sure what they're doing. We have lost millions of people. Millions. Not like 100 here and there, millions of people in the past 2.5 years. And the fact that we are still waking up today to be here, to have our purpose, to impact hearts, to impact minds, to share that love with whoever, that is a huge takeaway for me, and a blessing that I think some people forget to say thank you and I'm grateful for on a daily basis.
I agree. Think about the ultimate personal branding is your obituary. What do you want to have written about you? I mean, it's been an interesting year. Like, unfortunately, my aunt passed away, but fortunately, she's in heaven. But it really grounded me. Like, man, like I have to figure out, what am I doing in my life? What legacy I want to live? Like, time is too short not to play around with things. And I think the key thing I will tell anyone right now who's trying to balance growing their career, balance growing their business, balance growing their brand, I think the key thing is really be rooted in your values. Like, what is non-negotiable? If I am rich, if I'm poor, if I won that Powerball or Mega Millions, right, what would I still be doing, that I've been doing before that? And I think that's the key thing. And it's like, if you always make time for things that you're passionate about, I'm not saying it has to be your profession though, but if you always make time for it, you will be known for that. And so for me right now, like I still try to share empowering messages to help people sustainably promote themselves. Like I said, whether it's here's some tactics to help you mentor, in a sustainable way, or here's some different little articles I think are useful, or here's some people you should follow. Like I think it's easy to mentor and share knowledge, but I think a lot of us hoard it. Either it's intentional because I don't want you to be on my level. How can I be here if you're here? Like I don't want you to know. I want to gatekeep the knowledge that helped me be successful, right? Or some people literally just don't feel empowered to share. I'm not an expert. I only been doing this for 25 years, but I don't know what it's like, yes, you're an expert. And I'm sure someone starting their career right now who would love to get your advice on where do I start? What's the right question to ask during the first 90 days, help me with my job or career? What are some key risks or key opportunities in my industry right now? It's a lot we can share, but we have to take it step by step and not get overwhelmed. Well, if this person is doing this and they're viral and they have a whole studio, well, do you got a cell phone? Use your cell phone. Talk about what you want to talk about, or I like to do video more because it's easier for me. If you don't want to write, do a video and then transcribe it, or vice versa. You don't. It's different ways to do it, but I think the key thing is if you want to attract opportunities, doing more things you care about, or you want to be more seen as a leader in your industry, you're gonna have to have some kind of presence. But you determine how you show up, you determine what you talk about, you determine how you treat people, so they'll remember you for a good reason. I mean, I don't know about you, Future, but it's like I met some people who were impressive on LinkedIn, and not impressive in real life because they treat others not so well. And I'd rather be known as someone who treated people equally, right, with integrity. And maybe I didn't miss out certain opportunities because I wasn't always on. But it's like, hey, I met her and she was really cool. I just want to be one of those people. I think we have to think about personal branding holistically. It's not just the veneer, but also who are you matching the values you claim to have?
Do you show up as two different people on right? And you're like, who's that representative? What the hell just happened? Right? I want to be the same person on and off screen. I know I met somebody in person and I was talking to them and I had done some work, in their organization. And they told me, oh, I didn't think that you were like going to be as personable and talkative. Because when they saw me interacting with everybody, because you know me, I think pretty good by now after all these years of, I'll ask anybody, are you 2 or 92? Let's have a conversation. I'm super personable. I'm private, but I'm really personable. And I was like, oh, that's a good self-awareness, because that was not anything that I thought somebody would tell me about myself. But at the same time, I'm like, I'll take that. That's a win. You think I'm even more personable. Okay, that's a good thing to be remembered by.
Oh my, that reminds me of another thing to think about. Sometimes wellness is knowing how to take feedback and discern what to take or not, right?
Yes.
I think if we are so anti-feedback, you're anti-growth. Because I don't want to hear it. It's like maybe it's some things you need to hear, because these are whispers that longer term will become yells because you didn't listen to, hey, you should check this out, right? And your personal brand becomes what you're known for, not necessarily what you want to be known for, but what you are known for, which is that person's offensive. They don't take new information in. They don't even listen. They want to overtalk you. You know what I'm saying? But we have to know how, and also discern from information that someone can always project on you. Like, man, she's too personable. That is too much. Well, is it? Because in certain settings, it makes sense. Okay, if I'm doing a workshop, I better be personable because they're paying me to be here and be with person. So it makes more sense. Versus like, okay, if I'm cutting up at a funeral or a church, maybe that's not appropriate, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's a time and place. But I think wellness is also knowing how to take feedback and how to apply it. And I would say during my wellness journey, that has been literally my body telling me, right. I'm getting like hives, like something's not right here. I got to address it. My stomach's in knots, whether it's from something I ate or me just being like in my brain too much. I'm telling you, girl. It's not necessarily that, but sometimes it's like literally like knots, you know what I'm saying? Like my stomach's in knots. It's like, cause I keep on, oh, I have to do this project. I have to do, it's like, I'm like so always on that I'm like, girl, like not everything has to be done right now, but it's like, I think the key thing is take these feedback cues. It can be physical, like literally your body or the environment. It could be mental, like, man, I keep stressing about something and it's not that significant. Why is that? Or literally someone saying, hey, I see that you keep pacing in the room about something. Is something on your mind? And it's like, well, I guess so. And I think we have to take this feedback that's there, because that's also part of the wholeness experience, is knowing how to receive feedback and apply it appropriately.
Right. I think there's that. And I also think with the feedback piece of take it, but don't let it take over you. Because some people will literally live and die a slow death from the feedback that they receive because they take it so to heart that your own personal wellness then deteriorates. You can't get it out of your mind, then it physically impacts you. It's impacted you emotionally, and then it ripples out to the love that you can or can't give to other people that are loving you. So I think, yes, I'm all for taking the feedback, because I've been one too, where then you take it to heart so much that your heart hurts. And it's not a heart hurt for 5 minutes, it's a heart hurt for 5 months or 6 months. So I think you need to know you too of, yes, I am that in that moment. And that doesn't mean I am fully that human being all the time either. You have good.
I got feedback. It's funny. I remember because I did this whole, and part of the personal brand process was doing a personal brand 360 kind of feedback exercise, getting feedback from different people.
I remember that.
You remember that? And then I got the feedbacks. It was a question saying, if Deidre was a brand of cereal, what would she be? Cheerios, because she's colorful. And at this point, this back when I was like really fit. I was working out all the time. Like I was all cut up, had Angela Bassett arms. So like, oh, Cheerios, because she's healthy. I was like, yeah, score. And then someone said Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch because it's tasty, but if you're not careful, it'll tear up the roof of your mouth. Because at that time, I was very, very, I was always blunt, but I was very blunt right then. And I had to take that feedback like, shoot, I'm scratching up people's mouths. Like, I don't want to be doing that. Like, I got to be more mindful of how I communicate things. I'm not saying I have to sugarcoat everything, but one thing I had to learn also is not everything that's thought is meant to be said. Even if it's you got to know where people are at. If I'm with someone, like if I'm coach, like I was coaching a client back in the days, and I'm like, do you need to show up more? And I can tell through their body language that like they're not ready for that. Do I need to keep forcing them to do things? Like, I think it's a way you can, convince people, persuade them. But I don't think everything has to be said and said a certain way. I think it's a discernment right there. I think that's the thing that I had to learn too from it's like, hey, sometimes I'm reacting to my environment, or sometimes I'm creating situations for myself that makes it harder for people to want to work with me. And I say that because I think we got to be mindful of our words and everything. And that's something I had to learn early on, because I've had some people say critical things about me back in the days. And so I'm like, oh, well, this is how everyone talks, right? And it's like, no, that was just the environment I was in back then, right? With a lot of people from the East Coast, and nothing wrong with that, but very blunt people.
I'm from East Coast. Watch it.
Very blunt people, right? It doesn't always work when I'm living in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to learn how to tailor my communication style to my audience in order to inspire them to empower themselves. So that's what I will say. We got to know how to be mindful of, or how we speak to other people. And also for that point, if I'm talking to someone who's more blunt, just use blunt language too, because that's what they're going to resonate more with.
Right. Okay. Now, what about in all this? It's good to know communication. It's good to know you. It's good to know feedback and say, because all people don't put out a vibrational layer that says, I am open to feedback. So then people just don't give it to you, right? Like, if you're going to bite my head off and Captain Crunch me for even, right? If you're going to Captain Crunch me for helping you, because that's the other thing. It's a beautiful gift, whether you want to receive it or not. The people don't have to go out of their way to share the feedback with you. And I've had lots of moments in time where I'm like, you suck, right? Like, I can't even believe I just received that. And at the same time, in my heart, at the same time, I say, and thank you. Now, I may not have said it to those people, but thank you, because that is a beautiful gift that people don't have to give you to tell you how they view you showing up, so that you could sit with yourself to say, okay, is there how much truth is in this, and what can I do to have not that impact that obviously I'm having on people. So I guess that leads me to one last thing that I know I want to talk about with you, because I think it's in alignment with all that we just talked about, is the no. A no. Setting boundaries and saying no. So, in our last few moments of time with everybody, what do you feel the no would help us with for our own wellness and for our own branding? Where do we put nose up? Where do we put nose up? If you could answer for one, branding or for wellness or for both.
I would say it's for both, right? But on the branding and that, it's a non-essential. I think we get so tied up in the non-essential things that we don't concentrate. It's like, oh, well, I want to tell this story and I want to do it. I need to make sure I have a great graphic and get in the weeds of how to make. It's like, let's not get in the weeds that we're burning ourselves on Canva at midnight, right? Or it's like, or we're trying to write a script so perfect that we miss the message or miss the intent. That's like, I'm saying this so I can teach people on how to do something to help them either mentor people to get in their field or convince others to actually volunteer for DEI activities when they're already busy, but their presence will make a difference. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes it's you got to think, what is the message? And I think we have to cut off what's not essential and focus on that. I had to learn, and I tell, like, some of this is already known, but I think revisiting new trends. It's like, and I tell people, if you want to be a personal brand, have 3 kind of key topics you want to be known for, like, or one overall one. Like, for me, personal branding. That could be personal branding, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's for your business, or it's like sometimes I help others who, like, executive communications, more like, how do you speak as a leader, in your field at that level? And it's like, that's very specific. I could do a lot of things. I've actually had a really interesting career. I've done risk management. I've done public health research. I've done a lot of stuff, right? I can talk about that, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, keep it simple. Even for your wellness journey, it's really overwhelming when you're like, I'm going to get myself in fit shape and I'm going to get my mind right. I'm going to like do everything I want to do and be so positive. It's like, why don't you start by monitoring what your negative thoughts are? Why do you start by just like, trying to walk 100 steps a day? Like, start small or start something pragmatic, like be very, and for me, I have systems that put no for me. So if my system is like, okay, dude, you're go to bed by 10. It's something that, and it's a weekday. Something after 10, no, it's not going to happen. Hey, Deidre, like, your system is that you're going to try to drink non-sugary things, like, drink like water or unsweetened iced tea with my meals, right? So then when I want to cheat, I can cheat. I can have some ice cream. I can have some wine. I can, but it's having these systems in place that prioritizes me. Or, hey, why don't you the night before write out some of the talking points you want to have? I have a son here going on. Yes, Christian, what's going on? You can have a snack. It's also rolling with this. When my child's telling me he wants a snack, like, I'm not going to debate about this. Eat all the popcorn you want, man. Do your thing. Because right now, no, don't get popcorn. Just eat something silent. But I'm saying that because, like, I would have freaked out about this back in the days. But right now, I'm like, well, if it's going to keep him happy and busy and he's been eating nutritious, just let him go.
Right. And then I think the other thing, when we say no, we're saying yes to ourselves. When you say no to other people, you're automatically giving yourself a yes because you're getting your time and you're getting your energy.
Yes, I agree. And I also think part of it is like that whole abundance mindset. When we say no, it's not saying no forever. It's rarely be in a situation where it's like that life changing, where it's like, I said no when I was in 2nd grade to be on the field trip and I didn't meet the love of my life and I never got, like, no, nothing really happens like that. But we think in such like absolute terms. So I think just know that a no could be no for now, but that's not no for forever. And it's okay. But you have to kind of focus on what's essential for you and let everything else just not matter as much.
Okay. So if we're closing now, the quote that you sent in about radical rest, do you want to say it again to the audience and then just give a call to action about every human being's radical rest? I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you have kids or you don't have kids, whether you're 2 or 92. Rest is essential for us to rejuvenate. So will you share a quote with everybody again, and then one action that you would call people to just do to pour into themselves.
Yes, I would say in the current context of society nowadays, rest is radical. And I think what to me makes that radical is one, we're acknowledging that, hey, it's a really busy society. I'm not in denial that I'm overly scheduled. We're still living in multiple crises right now. We survived a whole bunch collectively, whether it's racial unrest, public health issues, global warming. It's a lot, right? That the news is always very sensational. It's like a freaking telenovela. So I understand that, but I take a stand saying I think I'm worthy of rest, and also to the whole point, I'm intentionally going to plan my rest. Doesn't mean I have a schedule all the time, but guess what? Not everything's going to mean like literally lounging on the couch. I'm going to take walks outside. I'm going to treat myself to some nice bubble bath. It's radical to invest myself because the way we're set up in society right now is very capitalistic. It doesn't tell me I'm deserving of rest. So I'm going to say, hey, I work hard, and guess what? I also rest too. So I would say prioritize your rest and really think, okay, what can I do to have a daily ritual of self-care and self-rejuvenation?
Okay. I love those beautiful words. And I am so grateful for you. And thank you for just being with me on this journey. Thank you for celebrating me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for asking me how I'm tapping into my wellness and sustaining myself in the middle of, I don't even know what we continue to live through in this 2.5 years that we've all been on this journey together. So I have so much love for you, and we will continue to be on the journey together.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you for the opportunity. And anybody who's out there, send me any of your wellness tips. I'm open to them all. So DM me some, and I can try out that works, and then at least suggest that your tips to other people as they ask me for some.
Yes, we could see it on Instagram. Tapping into the wellness that people so good. So we're going to call everybody to sit with yourselves. We are sharing so much love for you to come and sitting with us or watching the replay. And we look forward to seeing you again on Healing Our Future next week. See you soon. Be well.